What's going on, guys? I hope you're doing great. I hope you're having a great day. Happy Friday. I didn't say that in the previous video, but it doesn't matter. Happy Friday. Hope you all had a great week. It's time for the weekend. It's time for the Premier League, for another round of Premier League fixtures. If you haven't done so before I get on with the video, please subscribe to the channel. I hope you really like the content that I'm posting. If there are any comments you have about the videos that I'm doing, you can comment in the comment section below. In order for me to kind of enhance my videos and improve my videos and probably add some of the thoughts that you guys have. And also, please push the thumbs up button if you like the video. And then also please push the notification bells that you can get notified each time I post a new video. And yeah, so going on with the video, I'll be previewing the games that will be playing bar the Liverpool game, because I've done that in the Liverpool Man United game, because I've done that in a separate video. So basically, starting on Saturday, Tottenham Hotspur are going to be playing Wolves. Now, I was unimpressed with Tottenham. Okay, well, let me just go through the games that are going to play. Then I'll basically get on with the Tottenham video. With the Tottenham game, Tottenham are going to be playing Wolves. Arsenal are going to be playing Bournemouth. City are going to play Newcastle, and Chelsea are going to play Leeds. Now tomorrow it's Tottenham, Tottenham, Wolves, Bournemouth, Arsenal, and I think Chelsea are playing Leeds on Sunday. I'm not quite sure with that one, but City are playing Newcastle on Sunday. So Super Sunday, it's a late kickoff on Sunday. But basically, going on with the Tottenham game, Tottenham are going to be playing Wolves. Tough game. Wolves are always a tough opponent. They make things difficult whenever they play against you. But defending deep, even though last season they ended the season horribly and they were shocking, really. And they haven't had a great start so far this season. I think they've lost. I think they lost against Leeds, or did they draw the game? I'm not quite sure, but they certainly haven't won though. So far this season, I think. Even though whenever they played the top teams last season, it was a really difficult game because they play with a low block and they make it difficult for you as far as breaking them down. But I was really unimpressed with the Tottenham game last week against Chelsea. I expected Tottenham to go for the jugular. I expected them to be a lot better than they were in that game, because they were simply dominated by Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. But even though they were dominated by Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, they still managed to snatch a draw, which I guess you can say is a positive from the game, simply because a Tottenham team of 2 years ago, a Tottenham team of a year ago would have probably lost that game. They would have probably been thumped, probably 3-0. But because of the mentality of the squad within the squad right now, because of the mentality that Conte has instilled in the players at this moment in time, it's like they make things a lot more difficult for the other teams. Like, you can't just roll over them. Even if you're playing better than them, they still make things difficult, and that really is a testament of Conte's mentality as a coach, because Conte molds players in the idea of how a player should be, and he gets that idea of how a player should be from his own identity when he used to play. If you listen to any people talking about Antonio Conte, he was a robust midfielder. He was tough. He used to go in for the tackle. He used to live it all on the pitch. And that's what you see from the Tottenham players right now. So he's molding the players in his own image, basically, as a player, as back when he was a player. But I was really unimpressed with the performance from Tottenham, and I think Wolves is going to be a tough game for them. But obviously Tottenham have the firepower in terms of Kane and Son, even though Kane was misfiring last week. I know he scored the equalizer, but he should have scored that one-on-one chance he had against Mendy, because there was a chance when Bentancur played him on and Son was offside, and that's what threw the Chelsea defenders, because they thought they were both offside, but then Son was the one who was offside and Kane was onside, and he then missed the chance. And the flag never went up, and it wouldn't even have gone to VAR, because in fact it would have gone to VAR, but it would have been proven that it was not offside, simply because it's Son who was offside and he was not interfering with play. So I was really unimpressed with the Tottenham Hotspur performance last season versus not last season, but last week against Chelsea. I thought they were poor, really. So I expect Wolves to be a tough game for them. But I'm gonna say they're gonna win the game 1-0. I think they're gonna win the game 1-0. I think Conte is not gonna expect any form of mediocrity from his team. I think he would have lashed out to the lads after the Chelsea performance that they put on last week. So I think they're gonna give him a response, and I think they're gonna win the game 1-0. And going on to the next game, Chelsea versus Leeds. So, as I said about Tottenham, that I was unimpressed with their performance last week. I was thoroughly impressed by Chelsea's performance last week because they really played very well, and the only thing that they lacked was finishing. They got loads of chances and they should have won the game, but because of their lack of finishing ability and a few comic errors on defense in the set pieces that they had, even though the ref was not really on their side last week because there are a couple of questionable decisions that the ref made and the VAR. I don't think the challenge Bentancur, the Bentancur challenge on Kai Havertz was a free kick, the one that basically led to Tottenham's first goal. But I do think it was a free kick with regards to Christian Romero pulling Cucurella's hair. So basically he pulled his hair and then Cucurella went down, but it was not given as a foul. And VAR looked at the situation, but VAR deemed it to not be a foul because there are no rules that basically address hair pulling in the rules of the game. I don't know what's happening with the R's today in the rules of the game. But nevertheless, I thought Chelsea played well last week, and I think even though Leeds have had a good start, they've lost a key players. Leeds, they lost Calvin Phillips, they lost Rafinha, but they've still managed, I think, to get a draw and a win, if I'm not mistaken, if it's not 2 draws. So Leeds have started well with their new signings, but I think Chelsea are going to be slightly too much from them. I was really impressed with Chelsea's performance last week. And I think even though it's at Ellen Road, the stadium is going to be bouncing. It's a tough place to go to. But I think Chelsea are going to have too much for them. I think Chelsea are going to beat them 2-0. And then going on to the Arsenal game. The Arsenal game, obviously Arsenal play against Bournemouth. Bournemouth, who've just been promoted. So obviously Bournemouth had a great performance on the opening day of the season, winning against Aston Villa 2-0. Last week was a bit of a write-off for Bournemouth because they were playing against Manchester City, and they're always going to lose a game against Manchester City unless Manchester City have an off day. But Manchester City don't really have off days. You are lucky to catch them on an off day. So realistically, I'm not going to draw any conclusions when it comes to Bournemouth based on their performance against Manchester City because Manchester City have way better players than them. However, I've really been impressed with Arsenal. Arsenal, together with Manchester City, are the only teams with a 100% record from the first 2 games. They've won 6 points out of 6. And I've really been impressed with Arsenal, even though they were a bit comical at times defensively against Leicester last week. And that's why they conceded both goals that they conceded against Leicester and ended up winning the game 4-2. Gabriel Jesus has started the season on fire. He had 2 goals and 2 assists in the game against Leicester. He's leading the scoring charts together with Erling Haaland at the moment. So I think really it's going to be a tough game for Bournemouth. Even though they've started well, I think Mikel Arteta has drilled his side. He's built his side in his own image. They're playing the football that he wants to play, and he has his own players in the squad. The harmony of the squad is good. William Saliba, even though he got an own goal last season, has really looked good at the start of the season. So I think Thomas Partey is fit. Zinchenko has also settled in well at Arsenal. So I think really it's a tough game for Bournemouth. As good a coach as Scott Parker is, I think they're going to lose the game 3-1 to Arsenal, simply because of the way Arsenal have started the season and simply because of the way Arsenal are playing at the moment. They're playing with a high intensity. They're playing the style of Arteta. Gabriel Jesus is an example to the other players in terms of his intensity, in terms of his winning mentality that he's added to the squad. Zinchenko as well. So I think really it's going to be a tough game for Bournemouth. I think they're going to lose the game 3-1. And then obviously going on to the last game that is going to play, because the other 2 teams of the Big Six are basically playing one another. Manchester City versus Newcastle. It's at St James's Park in the northeast of England. Tough place to go to. That being St James's Park. Sorry, my phone is like the battery is running low. So that's why I was just closing the notification there. But continuing with what I was saying, St. James's Park is always a tough place to go, especially after the new owners at Newcastle have taken over. There's really good harmony within the fans. There's a good spirit within the dressing room. There's good spirit within the training ground with regards to the players. They really have belief. Callum Wilson is fit. Callum Wilson on his day is a really top player, really top striker, great finisher of the football. Newcastle was really a tough game for Manchester City. It's going to be difficult. Most games in the Premier League when you play away are difficult, but St. James's Park is going to be bouncing. But I think the tempo of the game is obviously going to be dictated by Manchester City, because Manchester City dictate the tempo of most games they play in. And they have better players than Newcastle, even though there's good harmony within the squad with regards to Newcastle. But I think how the game is going to pan out will depend on Newcastle. If Newcastle decide to sit back against Manchester City and try to counter-attack them, if they don't score early, then it's going to be a Manchester City win. It's going to be an inevitable Manchester City win, because Manchester City are going to keep probing and they're eventually going to score, and Newcastle are going to have to come out. But if Newcastle decide to play against them, which Eddie Howe likes to do, Eddie Howe doesn't like sitting back, even when he's playing the big teams. He likes being expansive and he likes attacking football. If they do that, then it's going to be a long day for them, because Manchester City are just going to play through them and they're going to score all the goals, and then they're just going to keep the ball. So how the game is going to pan out is going to be decided by Newcastle. It's the same situation when Manchester City played West Ham on the opening day of the season, where West Ham sat back, but then City kept probing and eventually unlocked them. And as soon as West Ham tried to attack, Manchester City went in behind with Erling Haaland's pace, and then Erling Haaland scored, and then the game ended being 2-0. So in that game, the tempo of the game was dictated by Manchester City, and the outcome of the result being 2-0 was basically dictated by the way West Ham played. So it's simply a matter of how the game is going to go, depending on Newcastle. Obviously, I'm a City fan, so I'm going to say it's going to be a City win. And I'm not trying to be biased. Obviously, Newcastle, as I've already said, and I'm not saying this is a cliche or whatever, because I want to like kind of act normal or whatever, and I don't want to kind of look like I'm bragging. St. James's Park is a difficult place to go to, but I fully expect Manchester City to win. As I've said, how the game is going to pan out is going to be decided by Newcastle in terms of how they play in the game, how they approach the game. I think it's going to be a City win. I think City are going to win 2-0. And it's a great start to the new season for City. Even though we are relatively slow starters, I think we started this season well. And then that brings us to the end of the video, because I've basically mentioned all the teams that are going to be playing in terms of the big 6 teams that are going to be playing. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. And also, if you have any comments about the games, if you have any comments you can comment on the comment section down below. And then also, please like the video. If you like the content, please push the thumbs up button. And also, please push the notification bell so that you can get notified each time I post a new video. Thank you for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. I do want to do another video with regards to transfers. I want to look at the latest transfer news, even though there's not a lot of transfer news at the minute. I think it's actually let me just go through the transfers in this one, because I don't think it's worth doing another video with regards to transfers, simply because there are not a few updates with regards to the Premier League clubs, because the other Premier League clubs are done with their business. Obviously, the major one that's been kind of been accelerated in the past few days is Casemiro to Manchester United, the holding midfielder for Real Madrid. He's basically said to Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti has actually confirmed this with the Spanish press. He said that he wants a new challenge and he wants to try something new. Rumors are he's being offered a bumper pay rise by Manchester United, and is being offered a longer term deal. Basically, he's being offered a 4-year contract with an option to extend it for a further year by Manchester United. So it's a lucrative contract. Casemiro has won everything there is to win in the game, because he's won 5 Champions League titles. The only thing that he needs to win to cap off his career is the World Cup with Brazil. Obviously, that has nothing to do with his club career. And I think there are players coming through at Real Madrid like Camavinga, Tchouameni, whom they spent 80 million euros on, I think, or 80 million pounds on. I think it was 100 million euros. But there were add-ons included in the deal. So I think Casemiro is simply looking at the situation as a way of getting more guaranteed first team football at Man United and also getting a bumper pay rise, because really Casemiro has lived the dream already. He's played for Real Madrid, one of the best clubs in the world, and he's won the Champions League 5 times. There's nothing more for him to achieve at Real Madrid, but basically to keep probably winning La Ligas and winning Champions Leagues. So I think it makes sense for him to be looking for a new challenge. Another one is Anthony, who is the Ajax player. Man United have gone back for him. I think they've bid 80 million euros for him, and Ajax have rejected it. I am not quite sure whether Man United are going to go back and bid more money to Ajax for Anthony. I think also this is a negotiation tactic by Ajax, simply because they know Man United are desperate for attackers, because at the moment Martial is injured, Rashford is out of form, Sancho is out of form, Ronaldo wants to leave. So Man United are desperately in need of an attacker. So therefore, Ajax are playing on that, and therefore they are using it as a negotiation tactic to raise the money that they can get for Anthony, who is one of their key players, to be fair to them. So it's a great negotiation tactic being used by Ajax. And then I don't know whether Man United are going to go back for him, as I've already said, but they have had a bid of 80 million euros rejected. There's that guy I talked about, Sergio Gomez from Manchester City, who is a left back. He's been signed, obviously he signed this week, and he started training with the first team yesterday, and he's traveling for the game against Newcastle on Sunday for Manchester City. And then another guy, obviously the Frankie de Jong deal at the moment is off. Man United have withdrawn their offer on the table for Frankie de Jong, the one that they had agreed with Barcelona. They basically withdrawn their offer simply because the deal is taking too long and they are looking at other targets. Also, the deal for Adrien Rabiot with regards to Manchester United is also off, because Man United are they're basically offering Rabiot a certain salary, but Rabiot wants, I think, in excess of £200,000 a week. And he also is unsure of joining Manchester United because of the lack of Champions League football. But I think the main dispute at the moment is on the salary, and Man United are not willing to go up from the salary that they've offered him, and Rabiot is not willing to accept the salary that is being offered by Man United. So I don't know if there's going to be a compromise there, but the deal at the moment as it stands is off. And then the other thingy, I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka, the right back for Man United, I think Man United are currently negotiating with Crystal Palace for a deal for Aaron Wan-Bissaka to go back on loan, to go back to Crystal Palace on loan, on a season-long loan, because he's not in Erik ten Hag's plan, because he can't play with the ball at his feet, basically. And then is there any other transfer news? Oh, and then basically the update with regards to Liverpool is that they're not going to sign any new players at this moment in time. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this before, but they want to sign Jude Bellingham, the Dortmund midfielder, next season. They wanted him to come to Liverpool for this season, but Dortmund are not budging, and you know Dortmund are rough negotiators. If Dortmund say they don't want to sell their player, they're not going to sell their player. And I think probably it's going to take a bid of 100 million next season in order to convince Dortmund to sell Jude Bellingham. But at this moment in time, they don't want to sell him. And then obviously Chelsea are being linked with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, as well as Wesley Fofana for Leicester, and I think Frankie de Jong. So Chelsea also want him together with Man United. I think those are the three players Chelsea are currently being linked with, and they are rumored to basically, they're trying to facilitate a transfer for Christian Pulisic, the American international. Obviously, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has worked with Thomas Tuchel before, and also this guy, Wesley Fofana, is a young top-class centre-back. He basically had one good season and then had the torn ACL. Well, no, he didn't have a torn ACL. He actually fractured his fibula. So the fibula is basically this bone here. It's basically your shin. I actually learned that in biology when I was doing biology back at school. But basically, he fractured his fibula. So basically broke his leg. And then he obviously made a comeback. I think late last season or this season, I'm not quite sure. But Leicester want a record fee for a defender for Wesley Fofana. So the record fee, Man United fans are going to remember, is Harry Maguire, £80 million from Leicester. So Leicester want in excess of £80 million for Wesley Fofana. I think they want 85 to 90 million pounds for him in order to basically to sell him to Chelsea. And you know, Leicester are rough negotiators, Same thing with Maguire. They were adamant that they wanted £80 million for Maguire, and Man United ended up paying it. And Manchester City actually wanted Harry Maguire, but were not willing to pay the £80 million, and therefore the deal fell off with Leicester, because Leicester are rough negotiators and they never compromise on the amount of money that they want for their players. And then so I've talked about Aubameyang, I've talked about Fofana, and then obviously there's Frankie de Jong. The Frankie de Jong situation is a little bit tricky at the moment. I'm not quite sure what's happening. What I'm basically gathering from reliable sources like Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein is that he wants to stay at Barcelona, but the feeling that I'm getting from Barcelona is that Barcelona want to get rid of him. So I don't know why he wants to stay at a place where he's not wanted, but it's really a tricky situation with regards to Frankie de Jong at this moment in time. So I'm not sure really what's happening with that deal. I just know he's rumored to, like Chelsea are rumored to want him basically. I think that is it with regards to transfer news. With regards to Manchester City, Pep Guardiola has said he's not looking to sign any more players until the end of the transfer window, so I'll have to take his word on it. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that is where our City stand at the moment. But yeah, guys, if you like the video, I've obviously gone through the latest transfer news there. If you like the video, please push the thumbs up button. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel, and also please push that notification bell so that you can get notified each time I post a new video. So, guys, together here, thank you for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one.